Earth, welcome to this episode 5 of Bhavganga. Let us first read reaction on part 4 by Sri R.D. Tiwari ji, reaction of R.D. Tiwari ji. And after that, today we will discuss the power of sensitivity, the real power on earth, the power of connectedness, the power of feeling pain of others. So today we will discuss in detail in the background of a very powerful folk story which is there everywhere on this earth, all part of the earth in different ways. So one story which has originated from some place on earth, it migrated throughout the world from mouth to mouth, from one village to another village, one place to another place, where there were no media channels, no books, nothing was there, but it traveled because that is the power of self luminosity of knowledge, of truth, real values. So let us first, and if time permits, because today I will try that the Bhavganga will be of 30-40 minutes only. I have some other work also immediately after this. So we will try to complete it in 30-40 minutes. If time permits, we will um discuss or recite some poems also. All the poems that is by me. So R.D. Tiwari ji writes, International Bhavganga 4 is packed with thoughts and issues. After Maya and specialization, description of Chhat is adorable. Maya and specialization is a satire in Hindi. Uh, he is writing for our episode 4 of English, and also in between Hindi episodes also regarding them he is commenting. The sun, earth and cosmos present a divine synergy. This followed by Gyan, Karm, Bhakti and their transformation into yoga is enlightening. That we discussed in first one. The hand pump is nice example. Pure water from the earth mass comes out through a process of involving mechanical filtration and human endeavor in it. That also we discussed hand pump example, that the democracies have to evolve. So many birds are here. Their sweet songs are going on. So the hand pump is nice example. Pure water from the earth mass comes out through a process involving mechanical filtration and human endeavor in it. Its comparison with democracy is really appreciable. The people are real masters. It lucidly tells that everybody should be Lokpal in his own capacity and eyes and ears open as watchdog of democracy, the epitome of awakening, disclosure, empowerment, and motivation for a vibrant and sustainable democracy. So, thank you, Tiwari Sahab. And now, before we come to the focus story, integrity. Let us discuss in a very simple way. what is integrity? Someone has defined integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching. Integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching. People may define integrity in different ways. This definition, it tries to say that integrity does not involve someone else. By others' direction, you are not doing good things. Your inner self, when no one is watching, there is no other motivation, but still you are doing it. Those things, that is integrity in your personality. But if you go to the roots, you must be remembering the poem in first episode, From Pain to Aham Brahmasmi. When you are feeling yourself connected or sensitively connected with the entire universe, or when we are operating on the principle win. When you are trying to do good for yourself, when that second win you are trying to do good for all around you with whom you are interacting, and the third win you are trying to do good for the entire mother earth, entire nature, entire universe. If you are operating on these principles, then you are truly, your personality's integrity is maximum, fullest. You are in integrated personality. Your integrity is really superb. And integrity starts with it comes from the word integration. Integration and differentiation are the words of mathematics, calculus, and they are uh, finer shades of addition and subtraction and multiplication and division. When you are adding and multiplying, you are integrating, and when you are subtracting and dividing, you are differentiating. Yoga is addition. Integration is addition. So when the entire universe, you go on adding your emotions with all, your connectivity with all. When you are integrated, that is, you are feeling connected with the entire universe. You are feeling integrated with the entire universe. You are feeling sensitively feeling integrated with the entire universe. That is integrity. And when that feeling is there, when that sentiments are there, how can you do anything bad to anyone? That is impossible. So that personality is full of integrity. Now we are coming to the ant and the system with that folk story. From initially I heard this folk story in my village when I was living there during 50s and early 60s. I just enjoyed the story, nothing more. But when later on I tried to read the folk stories of all the languages of the earth, I found it in Russian, I found it in Arabic, I found in South Indian languages. The same story. It traveled throughout the world, from mouth to mouth, from ancient times, when there were no presses, even not writing was developed maybe later on. But this story traveled from one place to another place in all parts of the world. see the power, as I told you earlier, the power of luminosity of knowledge. And this story is very important because this is the mother of democracy. When there were tribal lordships and kingships and dictatorships, whatnot. But this story has kept in its womb the democracy, the power of the people, the power of the common man. So I heard a story during my childhood which is very popular even now. There was a pair of birds, a parrot and a myna. In my local vernacular in my village, the name of the other bird was myna, the two birds. Once there happened a severe drought, people were starving. With great search, they could find a grain of gram. A, with great search, they could find a grain of gram. They tried to break the grain into two pieces by rubbing it with the wooden pillar, picket, or stake. Grain broke into two pieces, but one piece of grain remained inside. The other pillar itself, but the one piece of grain remained inside the pillar itself, as there was some gap in it. Myna was clever enough. She flew away, taking the piece which is outside in her beak. Now there remained the piece of grain, which was the share of parrot, and that too inside the pillar. The parrot went to the carpenter. When he could not take it out from the pillar, he went to the carpenter and said, "O carpenter, cut the pillar, as there is piece of gram in it, what to eat and what to drink, and what to carry for onward journey." Carpenter refused to cut the pillar and told her, "I don't have so much of time to cut the pillar for your little work." Then he went to the king and said, O king, punish the carpenter. He is not cutting the pillar." Now the same thing he repeats. There is a piece of gram in it, what to eat and what to drink, and what to carry for journey onwards. King too refused. And then parrot went to the queen and said, O queen, leave the king. He is not punishing the carpenter. Carpenter is not cutting the pillar." And the same story he narrated in full. Queen also refused, and then parrot went to the snake and told him, O snake, bite the queen. Queen is not leaving the king. King is not punishing the carpenter. Carpenter is not the same story repeating again. It is generally in folk stories like this happens. But this is the most important folk story on earth. Therefore, we are giving it in the Bhavganga, we the beings on earth. And it also tells the relationships of beings on this earth. Snake also rejected, so he went to a stick and told him, O stick, beat the snake. Snake is not biting the king. King is not punishing the carpenter. Carpenter is not. The same story fully repeating again. The stick also refused. So he went to the fire and said, O fire, burn the stick. The stick is not The entire story repeating again. Fire also refused. Then he went to the river and said, O river, extinguish the fire. River also refused. And then he went to the elephant and said, O elephant, suck the river, drink the river. Elephant too refused. And finally, one ant listened to the cry of the parrot. She assured that it would try to solve the parrot's problem. She entered into the trunk of the elephant and started entering and crawling in the elephant's trunk. Elephant requested to the ant not to crawl inside and bite. I am ready to suck the river or to drink the river. He went to the river and started sucking. River begged him not to suck it and said, I shall extinguish the fire. Likewise, this chain reaches the carpenter. Carpenter told the king, I will take out the piece of gram. Finally, parrot had succeeded in getting the gram. During the childhood, I could hardly understand beyond the literal meaning of this story. But now, deeper I think over, I find that the story denotes the most powerful dimension of social philosophy. Sometimes it seems that this story presents the whole gamut of social administrative procedures. The story has succeeded in denoting the complex social phenomena in a very simple manner and which is not available anywhere else. The major role in this story was played by the ant. She could dare to bear the risk of self-sacrifice. Elephant could have smashed the ant. Only these kinds of ants can bring forth necessary reforms in the system. This version of the story and this discussion is 20 years old, written around 1919 2000. But later on, since last 8 years, when I started this constitutional enlightenment in the country and Samvidhan Kathas in the country, then the relevance of this story also grew tremendously. Then I realized this is the mother of the democracy. That we will discuss after this discussion, which is there in the book, Win, 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 the Orphan Veda novel. In the end, we will discuss its connection with the democracy. So the major role in this story was played by the ant. She could dare to bear the risk of self-sacrifice. Elephant could have smashed the ant. Only these kind of ants can bring forth necessary reforms in the system. Who is this ant? Looking into the social perspective, this ant is none other than the common man, and all other elements, including the elephant and analogous, are analogous to the system. On all other elements in the story, including the elephant, are analogous to the system. One poor common man can also change the system to a large extent. It has to rise, but when he rises to go to the elephant, to change the thinking of the elephant, the risk of being smashed will always be there. But in democracy, this risk is not there. One has to go safely to the ballot machine or voting machine and to cast the vote. By keeping aside the doubt and fear of being smashed. When he will enter into the trunk of elephant with courage, he will be able to change the direction of the thinking of the system. In democracy, now that fear has gone. In kingship, that fear may be there. Pillar, carpenter, king, queen, fire, stick, river, and elephant. All the different dimensions of the system. Thinking process of all these can be rectified by determination and enthusiasm of an ant. Thinking process of all these can be rectified by the determination and enthusiasm of an ant and its readiness to sacrifice itself to fight with the system for the sake of good cause. Here again, now the ants, the common man, can change the system simply not they have not to enter in the trunk of the elephant. They have just to enter. They have to vote. They have to vote. 100% they have to vote for good persons like these ants. They have to become ant for betterment of other and who is thinking sensitively with and who is realizing the pain and need and necessary and sensitivity with the parrot. So that I will narrate after reading this. Those are important aspects, the additions to these stories that come, these comments. Pillar, carpenter, king, queen, fire, stick, river, and elephant all are different dimensions of the system. Thinking process of all these can be rectified by the determination and enthusiasm of an ant and its readiness to sacrifice itself to fight with the system for the sake of good cause. Two more things are important in the story. Carpenter could have simply cut the pillar and take out the gram. King could have simply scolded the carpenter and got the work done. Nobody was having the risk of life, but none of them had even little sympathy for the parrot. But Ant was so much empathized with the parrot that she entered into the trunk of the elephant, even at the cost of his life. As far as reform in the system is concerned, sensitivity, sympathy, hope, and action are the most important prerequisites. Secondly, parrot went to the carpenter, king, queen, stick, snake, fire, river, and elephant, asking for help. Weeping, but nobody cared for his plight. On the other hand, Anne herself asked the parrot the reason and asked the parrot the reason for the sorrow. This is the real sensibility. If someone explains the reason of sorrow and after listening to that, if somebody tries to obviate the problem, it can be called the true sympathy and sensitivity. True sensitivity is when a person wants to know himself, reason for others' problem, and tries to mitigate it. Here a question arises. Is it true that carpenter was emotionless? But whether king, queen, it is true that carpenter was emotionless. But whether king, queen, snake, river, stick, fire, elephant, all were emotionless, or they had some collusion because of vested interests. Today, what is happening in the systems, due to which neither of them were ready to listen to the parrot against any of them, nor to punish them. It is quite possible that they were having some alliance among them which could be broken by courage and action of the ant. This story depicts a very good aspect of system as well. Parrot could approach the carpenter, king, queen, stick, snake, fire, river, and elephant to explain his problem. He could reach them without any hindrance. Today's scenario probably has worsened even more. Today, a common man cannot reach to the top echelons of the system. This is the biggest problem. Today, a common man cannot reach the top echelon of the system for telling his problem. Hence, the story becomes more relevant. Now, all hopes of parrot are centered on the ant only. Now, we are coming to the most important aspect of this story. Prior to the meeting of ant with the parrot, entire system was insensitive and inactive. When the ant decided to do something for the parrot and started entering into the trunk of the elephant, the whole system became active. Most important thing is that all the elements of the system are the same. Same carpenters, king, queen, stick, snake, fire, river, and elephant. All were inactive, while all of them became active after the decision of the ant to rise to the occasion. Nobody had to do too much work. Nobody had to do too much work. Small fear and realization of their duty made them active and sensitive. Therefore, the same system and its elements can do better work. Same politicians, officers, bureaucrats, managers, teachers, traders, professionals, advocates, and doctors all can do good work. Only common man has to be like the ant. Now, in Samvidhan Kathas, something more has been added to this story, because if we discuss the political system of India in particular, and more or less same in other countries also, but India, it is we are too much, our process is polluted, we can say, or eyes of the people are closed. So in India, true democracy is not working, because first condition of democracy is the people should know what is the constitution, and constitution makes the people of India the masters of this country. But in India, hardly 0.00001% persons know that they are masters or they know about constitution. So democracy has not percolated to the system. Therefore, since last 8 years, I am fully dedicated and devoted with this giant task of making people aware of constitution and their rights, that they are the masters of the country and they have to choose their representatives, servants who serve the nation. But since they are not knowing that they are masters, they consider themselves as praja, or the as if they are in the kingdom. So they have to the entire paradigm has to be shifted, and only then the system will improve, and they have to consider themselves the masters of the country with the power of that ant, that common man. They said, we are common man, how what can we do? He can do this, all that this ant has done. The entire system has changed because of his proper action. And that action originated because of sensitivity. I narrate this story wherever I go, in schools, colleges. Even yesterday also, in one center, I narrated this story where civil servants were being groomed. So, in this story, I asked this question: who is most powerful among all the elements carpenter, king, queen. So, who is the most powerful? And I become delighted when small children of class 1, 2, 3, they'll enjoy this story, and when I ask this question, they roar with full noise, ant. Ant is the most powerful. And it is most powerful because of which quality, which characteristic? In money power, in muscle power, in knowledge power, in uh, all dimensions of power. The other elements are more powerful, king, queen, all that. But there is one thing which is only there in the ant and in none of them, and that is sensitivity, capacity to feel pain of others. And because of this quality, the ant became most powerful. And it's in India, we are giving so much weight to caste, creed, group, so much differentiation, so much divisions. We want to work for our own caste, own family, our own religion, and we are insensitive to others. But this ant, it is not only focused or working for its own caste, creed of ants, but it has traveled that. It has understood the pain of parrot beyond its what you call its race, you can say, beyond its other species, beyond its species. That is real sensitivity. The real sensitivity is, and it extends and covers almost entirety, the Mother Earth, the nature. That ant has displayed that quality, and that is why it's most powerful. So, during elections, if we behave like that ant, we consider the well-being of all the persons of the country, and keeping in view them, we vote for benefit of all, then our democracy will be happier, healthier, and happiness all around. And this sensitivity has not to be limited to the country only. This has to extend to the whole earth. And thankfully, our constitution, Indian constitution, says that our duty is, the duty of the citizens as well as the government, is not only to keep the entire nation healthy and happy, but the entire Mother Earth happy and healthy. Article 51. So, this story is the mother of all the democracies of the earth, and all the citizens of the Mother Earth should enjoy it, encourage others, and to implement it. Ultimate thing is to implement it. Consider oneself that ant who has to be empathetic, sensitive to all other beings on earth. That ant is the truly representative of our BHAV Ganga, we the beings on earth. So that story is very, very, very relevant for this program, and that I have already narrated. The good thing in the story is that ant could go to the king and all others fearlessly and directly, without not stopped here. Today, there are in India totally 5 lakh VVIPs are there. And ordinary people cannot go there because we have made them masters, and they are behaving themselves like masters, and we, the real masters, are afraid of meeting them. We are not allowed to meet them because we have chosen them. We have chosen wrong persons. We have not chosen ants as our leaders. For leadership, this ant is the most appropriate element. We have not chosen the leaders with this quality, the ants quality. We have chosen them by their glamour or winnability and so many irrelevant criterias, or media image, or false promises. We have to get rid of all these fallacies. India is the worst in this aspect. It is probably the only country in all among 195 countries where the masters, we the people of India, our roads, our paths were stopped when these so-called VVIPs travel. We are stopped. Masters are stopped for the movement of their servants. Another tragedy. It cannot happen, but this is happening because the masters are not knowing that they are masters, and masters are choosing wrong persons as their servants or wrong representatives as their servants. So all this will change when the democracy will take roots, and this story and such stories will also percolate to the masses. They will realize its real worth. With this, I will close today's Bhav Ganga. They will need and another important change. This this English version of Bhav Ganga will be telecasted on Thursdays, not Sundays. Thursday morning, tentatively same time, 7 to 8 or 7:30 to 8:30. So from now on, it will be telecasted on Thursday. So thank you very much. Have wonderful day or night, wherever you are, according to your location. Thank you.